Chapter 10. Hold That L. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Michael Jordan. Growing up, my twin brother and I used to have one-on-one wars. My grandfather built us a makeshift basketball court on a random 10-foot by 10-foot slab of concrete outside of his house. The basket was made of a long wooden pole from Home Depot, a random piece of plywood for a backboard, and a hoop purchased from Modell's Sporting Goods. Most of our adolescent summers were spent going at it on that slab of concrete. When either of us lost, the loser automatically called for a rematch. No breaks, just check it back up. We'd play all day and all night until it got dark, or my mom told us it was time to go home, or more often than not, we ended up fighting. Whatever the reason was, neither of us could ever concede to losing. No way he or I was content going home holding an L, a loss. The only thing that mattered was winning and being on top at the end of the day. In retrospect, when he won more games in our daily series than me, I don't think I ever evaluated why I lost. I was only concerned with continually playing until I won, not recognizing that if I actually reflected on what I did to influence the previous L and looked to correct these actions, I'd improve my chances of winning the next game. Instead, I'd just end up losing again. This kind of behavior is still applicable in our lives as young and older adults. We fail in a certain capacity, and instead of reflecting on the failure and making an attempt to learn from it, we typically just continue to do the exact same things we did before that got us to the unfavorable results. There are valuable lessons provided in every L we take. Failure promotes growth. Failure teaches us what it takes to win and to keep winning. Hence, failure can oftentimes be the best thing that ever happens to us, as long as we appreciate it for what it is, a learning opportunity. Hold your L. Appreciate it. Instead of looking at failure as your own personal inability to do something, look at it solely as an opportunity to improve yourself and to learn from your previous missteps. Do not give up on yourself or your dreams because things didn't go the way you anticipated they would on your first, second, or even third try. Rather, use those experiences to critically analyze what it is that you did ineffectively, then take the necessary steps to correct that behavior. You will become better equipped to handle the challenges you encounter in the future. What if you're seeking to accomplish If what you're seeking to accomplish is worthwhile and adds benefit to your life, then it's worth doing badly until you get it right. Do not let inexperience or the prospect of failure discourage you. Do the work on yourself that's necessary to overcome the obstacles that you were previously hindered by. Many times we refuse to accept our failures because of the ego. Naturally, we want to believe everything we're doing is right, and the reason we failed is not because of our own selves, but rather because of something or someone else's doing. We place the blame on external factors instead of taking ownership of our own stuff. "It can't be me" is one of the greatest lies ever told and comes directly from that little voice in our heads called the ego. In this life, you can either be a host to God or a hostage to your ego, not both. When you make the decision to become a host to God and swallow your pride, let go of your ego, and accept your shortcomings, see failure as an opportunity to grow, and dedicate yourself to learning and improving, you will then see positive changes in your life. There's always some facet of your life that you can improve upon, so through failure, you get a better idea of what you do and what not to do as you continue to pursue your goals. You learn what your strengths are as well as your weaknesses. Once you identify your strengths and weaknesses, you can then begin to work on improving in the areas you are not particularly strong in. Failure is inevitable when you're attempting to do something extraordinary. Anyone who has ever done anything great is failed at some point. We are not put on this earth to merely subsist and try to get by or just make it. We were put on this earth to be the greatest representations of ourselves and to get the most out of life that we possibly can. Successful completion of a task should always be the goal. However, if you succeed at something 100% of the time and you never stumble, that may be an indication that you're not pushing yourself hard enough. When you play it safe, you are wasting away the God-given talents and opportunities that you have been blessed with. Most times, the tendency is to play it safe is due to one's fear of failing. But what you have to understand is failing is a part of life. There is no getting around it. You can try to avoid it at all costs, and guess what? You will end up living a life far less than the one you want and the one you truly deserve. So be brave and take the necessary risks. Weather the storms of rejection, hurt, pain, and loss. Fail consistently, yet learn from your past experiences and previous approaches to a specific task. Keep fighting until you accomplish your goals. Are you willing to look back on your life and be content with having a goal and wanting to accomplish it, yet you didn't pursue it out of fear of failing? Are you willing to live with yourself knowing that within you there is an immense potential that is untapped and just lying dormant? With failure comes experience and growth. Embrace it. What you learn from the L's, you can take to serve as a catalyst for helping get one step closer to attaining everything you want in life. Failure is inevitable when you start doing something that's out of your comfort zone, or when you pursue an endeavor you have no previous experience or knowledge in. However, it is failure that teaches you the valuable lessons you need to learn in order to get to that next level in life. Through failure, you've been given the opportunity to learn and grow. Through learning and growing comes maturation. When you know better, you do better. Only then will you be able to live the life you are destined to live. Every basketball fan is pretty familiar with the dominance of Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls in the 1990s. Although the Bulls had a stranglehold on the NBA during that decade, what often goes overlooked and underappreciated is the struggle the team endured on the road to winning their first NBA championship. From 1988 to 1990, the Chicago Bulls were defeated in the playoffs by the eventual Eastern Conference champions and NBA champions in 1989 and 1990, the Detroit Pistons. Infamously known as the Bad Boys for their physically imposing, defense-oriented style of play, the Pistons employed a strategy against Michael Jordan known as the Jordan Rules. The objective of the Jordan Rules was essentially to slow Jordan down offensively by being extra physical with him and forcing him to defer to his lesser talented teammates. Battling mental and physical fatigue, the Bulls were unable to overcome the Pistons' effective strategy and were eliminated from a championship contention by the same team 3 years in a row. In 1991, the Bulls returned to the Eastern Conference Finals once again to face their nemesis, the Detroit Pistons. The team adopted a different offensive scheme, this time known as the triangle offense. They grew both physically and mentally stronger. Scottie Pippen emerged as a premier player in the league, competing alongside Jordan, and other teammates stepped up their level of play as well. As a result, the Bulls swept the Pistons in 4 games and defeated the LA Lakers in the 1991 NBA Finals to win the NBA championship. The Bulls would go on to win a total of 6 NBA championships from 1991 to 1998. They won the league championship 3 consecutive years in a row, twice from 1991 to 1993, and from 1996 to 1998. Michael Jordan stated, "The team, the Pistons, pushed us to a certain level. I don't think we would have won those 6 championships without getting over the hump in Detroit." Coming up short numerous times against the Pistons prompted Jordan and the Bulls to learn what they needed to do in order to defeat their greatest adversary and help them establish themselves as an NBA dynasty. You can continue to do the same ineffective things over and over again. If you choose to do so, you should also expect the same results. But if you take time to learn and grow from your missteps, you'll be able to improve your approach to your goals and ultimately realize the life you want for yourself. Failure teaches us a great deal about ourselves. It reveals our resiliency in the face of adversity and our ability to persevere when things don't necessarily go in our favor. James 1:4 states, "Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." When you push through setbacks, you are arming yourself with the tools that will improve the likelihood of successfully completing your objectives in the long run. Without trials, you are incapable of knowing what you're truly able to accomplish. You are unable to reflect on previous hardships and use them to push through your future experiences. If you are able to overcome failure once, you're able to do it again and again. Use your failures as fuel. Channel those feelings you had during moments of your previous failures to push past whatever stands in the way of living your best life. Learn to separate what you do from who you are. You are not a failure. You just happen to momentarily fail. The beautiful thing about failing is that you have an opportunity to reinvent yourself, reevaluate the approach you take to attain your goal, and go at it again. There are no limits to the amount of times you can try to accomplish something. Therefore, do not stop working for what you want until you attain it.